Hello race fans and welcome back to the IROC series presented by More Freedom Trucking. Today we have traveled up to Milwaukee for IROC Milwaukee. This is going to be race number 3 in the IROC series, season 2. And as you recall, the points are getting close. I mean, you may not recall because it's been a while, but the points are pretty close. So let's go through let's go through the top 13 here. So your points leader is going to be the 25 of JTM. Second will be the 80 of Hall Garrick. Third will be the 96 of Nico. Fourth will be the 72 of Duchess. Fifth will be the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Sixth will be the 07 of Douche Baggins. Seventh will be the 420 of Queen of Hearts. Eighth will be the 777 of Seabass. Ninth will be the 8 of Moon Bunny. 10th will be the 13 of King of the Aces. 11th will be the 660 of Garrett Miller. 13th will be the 69 of Arco Creates. And rounding out your points here in the IROC series will be the 13 of Jamal Jackson. I mean, the 1 of Jamal Jackson in 13th. Guess it's hard to speak today here at the Milwaukee. But yeah, these cars are identical race cars. And it should be an amazing race today. And the crowd's filing in, so let's go racing. As these drivers get their cars fired up, let's go through your starting lineup today for IROC Milwaukee. Starting on the pole will be the 96 of Nico 2588. And on his outside, the number 8 of Moon Bunny. Starting third will be the 25 of JTM. And on his outside, the 660 of Garrett Miller. Starting fifth will be the 69 of Arco Creates. And on his outside, the 07 of Douche Baggins. Starting 7th will be the 1 of Jamal Jackson, and on his outside, the 13 of King of the Aces. Starting 9th will be the 80 of Hall Garrick, and on his outside, the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Starting 11th will be the 72 of Duchess, and on her outside, the 777 of Seabass. And in the last row, starting 13th, shotgun on the field, will be the 420 of Queen of Hearts. So that's your starting lineup today for IROC Milwaukee. We're going to see what all these drivers can do in these identically prepared race cars. Moon Bunny, as you'll remember, has had a rough go the last couple weeks. Had a good run last week at for the More Freedom Series race. And I can't even talk. She started on the pole for that. As Nico leads us down, we've got this green flag. We are underway here at Milwaukee. Down into turn 1, Nico to the middle low line now as Moon Bunny on the outside right there with the 660 of Garrett Miller. The 25 of JTM dropping down to the inside is that 8 of Moon Bunny. The 660 of Garrett Miller on the outside. That 96 of Nico on the outside. Pushing his car hard through 3 and 4 is the 96 of Nico. Right behind him is that 660 of Garrett Miller. Let's get your timing and scoring up. As always, your top 10 will be on the left. Your favorite driver will be scrolling across the top. As your leader right now is that 96 of Nico 2588. Behind him is going to be that 660 of Garrett Miller and the 07. The previous series champ of the IROC series, the 07 of Douche Baggins. That's the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Trying to get down to his inside. He's down to the inside of that 660 of Garrett Miller. Great run through 1 and 2. The high line here at Milwaukee working really well right now for that 660 of Garrett Miller. The 3 of Greek Girl Games works to the outside of the 07 of Douche Baggins. Behind him is going to be the 777 of Seabass. Only 40 laps of hopefully green flag action here today at Milwaukee as we got double wide right now with the 25 and the 72 of Duchess. JTM working on the outside right now of the 777 of Seabass. Trying to get to the back bumper of that 07 of Douche Baggins. G3 trying to get underneath that 660 of Garrett Miller as he runs high through 3 and 4. Down to the front stretch they come. Here comes the 07. DB right there to her back bumper, trying to get down to the inside, down into 1 and 2. Your leader on the track still going to be that 96 of Nico 2588 as the 80 of Hall Garrick, who started 9th, has worked his way up to 3rd position right now, getting around that, 4th position, sorry. Getting around that 07 of Douche Baggins and the 777 of Seabass on the outside right now of DB. With the 25 of JTM, the points leader right there behind the 777. Battling right now with the 13 of King of the Aces. Garrett Miller right now to the back bumper of the 96 of Nico. Last season's series champion in the More Freedom Series race, the 96 of Nico 2588 for MBR, leading this race here at Milwaukee with 6 out of 40 laps complete at the 660. Thinks about getting down to the inside. Nico with that block to the high line. Nico on the outside, Garrett on the inside. G3 still thinking about trying to get around the 660 of Garrett Miller as he tries to come up for the block on the 3 of Geek Girl Games as she works to the outside right now. So G3 on the outside getting a great run through 3 and 4. Working her way up to the second place. She's going to set her sights on that 96 of Nico as the 80 of Hall Garrett trying to get down to the inside of that 660 of Garrett Miller. The 777 of Seabass right there thinking about getting to the inside of that 80. So Eric sliding up high through the turn. Great run through 3 and 4 for him as well. Checking back through this field, see what's going on here in the back of the pack. It's a battle between the 8 of Moon Bunny and that 07 of Douche Baggins. Her car owner in the More Freedom Series race, or the More Freedom Series. 3 Douche Motorsports vehicles in this race today. Well, 3 Douche Motorsports drivers, as these cars are all prepared by the More Freedom Stock Car Racing. As a 69 of Arco creates to the outside of that 8 of Moon Bunny, here comes her teammate in the More Freedom Series, the 72 of Duchess. We'll jump back up here to the front as your leader on the track still going to be the 96 of Nico 2588, as the 3 of Geek Girl Games up to the second place now. Having led the whole way so far is that 96 of Nico, as G3 trying to work to the outside. Thinking about getting down to the inside. Nico comes down with the block into 1 and 2. See what G3 does off of 2 as we come down to the backstretch here at Milwaukee. Also known as the Milwaukee Mile. So G3 with a good car. Well, actually, the cars are all prepared the same, as this is the IROC series, but looks like G3 just has a little bit more for this track here today at Milwaukee. But I mean, really, she hasn't gotten around the 96 of Nico yet, as she worked her way from her starting position way back in 10th position up to 3rd, as she's going to try to, we're going to see what she does as we got 12 of 40 laps here complete at, actually been 13 laps of 40 complete here at Milwaukee. Jobbing back through this field, kind of single file right now here through the middle part of this race. 420 Queen of Hearts kind of lagging back right now on that 72 of Duchess. Duchess having started, now she started 11th, has fallen back a couple positions here. But Moon Bunny, who started 2nd, has fallen all the way back to the 11th position. Kind of riding right now as we come down into 3 and 4 here at Milwaukee. G3 behind the 96 of Nico still. Tries a run on the outside. Nico again up to block, down into 1 and 2. G3 thinking about getting down to the inside through 1 and 2. Right to the back bumper, that 96 of Nico 2588, your current leader here. Checking to see what else is going on here through. As we see, we got single file mostly through the rest of this field. As G3 now working to the inside, trying to work to the inside of that 96 of Nico, off of 1 and 2, down the backstretch. Again, that high line here just has a little bit more. I believe it's going to have to do with, you got that better asphalt above the low line here at Milwaukee. So a little bit more grip in the high line through Milwaukee than there is in the low line. These drivers should obviously kind of recognize that, should actually just drift up there to that high line, as Eric to the outside of the 660 of Garrett Miller. So Eric working on the outside of the 660. And getting around Garrett right now is going to be the 80 of Hog Eric. Eric up to third place. Working up again from the 9th position is that 80 of Hog Eric on the outside. So great run on the outside here today for Eric, as G3 is still right there on the back bumper of that 96 of Nico. Might be a matter of just kind of moving the 96 around with her bumper. And as she gets down into 1 and 2, very, very close right there. Almost worked that bumper into the back of that 96 of Nico. As the 660 drifts down, cuts off that 777 of Seabass. Seabass to the outside right now, way high. Huge mistake by that 777 of Seabass, as he is able to almost into the wall. Had that car a little bit sideways there on the front stretch. As the 96 of Nico up high here through 1 and 2 down the backstretch. 3 of Geek Girl Games in trouble right now by that 80 of Hog Eric. Eric thinking about trying to get around her on the outside, as he does know that that outside line is working. He just has to get a good run down into the turn to try to get to that outside foot on her. Biding his time, as they would say. Your leader at halfway is going to be the number 96 of Nico 2588. Looking back through this field, see what else is going on back here. Pretty quiet in this field today. As the 660, the 777, and the 25 and the 13 battling out right now, as Nico again up to that high line, getting a great run off the turn. G3 sliding down right there, almost in front of that 80 of Hog Eric. Eric on the outside, sliding way high right now. Slick tires for that 80, but he's going to be able to pull off that move on the number 3 of Geek Girl Games. So Eric up to second position right now. G3 back to third. And falling into the clutches of that 660 of Garrett Miller. We're going to see if Eric now on the outside can get around that 96 of Nico, as Nico is blocking high to low here at Milwaukee. Coming down to complete lap number 23, as the 660 trying to work underneath the 3 of Geek Girl Games. G3, again, that outside line is going to be a little bit better here, as the 777 of Seabass now to the outside of the 660 of Garrett Miller. So Seabass working that high line out to the outside, able to get around Garrett, as pushing Garrett back to the 5th position here. So again, your leader so far for the majority, actually all the laps as of right now. He is going to be starting on the pole, lead a lap, lead it halfway, and lead the most laps. So that's going to be 20 bonus points today for the 96 of Nico, as he was 19 points behind the points leader of JTM. So very, very beneficial day, very good day for the 96 of Nico. If he can pull off this win, that may actually catapult him into the points lead here in the IROC series. So Eric right there battling it out with the number 3 of Geek Girl Games, who is probably going to be battling it out with the 777 of Seabass, as the 25 of JTM works around that 660 of Garrett Miller. So JTM able to get underneath and around the 660 of Garrett Miller, which is surprising. You know, a low line pass there for the 25 of JTM, as that 660 who's not wanting to lose his position. But he just right now cuts off that number 1 of Jamal Jackson. Jamal down to the inside. Again, that 96 of Nico works high, as the 3 of Geek Girl Games and the 777 of Seabass thinking about going low underneath the 80 of Hog Eric. Eric on the outside gets a great run down the front stretch, thinking about trying to get down to the inside of the 96 of Nico. Seabass on the outside of the 3 of Geek Girl Games right here. So Seabass putting G3 back to 4th position. On the outside line is just working really well when they can get up there and drive around it, as almost Eric is trying his hardest right now to get to that high line around the 96 of Nico. Nico coming up with the block there on the front stretch. 10 laps, about 10 or 11 laps to go here at Milwaukee. As we get down into 3 and 4, your leader on the track still going to be the 96 of Nico, with Eric in 2nd and Seabass in 3rd. Down into 1 and 2. Nico going high. Eric low. Seabass pushing the gas pedal through the floor right now as he gets to that outside of the 80 of Hog Eric. Here comes G3 trying to follow right along with the 777 of Seabass down into 1 and 2. Eric might go 2nd to 4th here. As G3 on the outside, Eric down low. Here comes the 25 of JTM. He's going to have to stop the bleeding here if he can, as JTM to his left rear, as he's now on the outside. So Eric was 2nd place, and he is now falling back sharply as JTM and G3 and the 777 of Seabass able to get around him. Seabass on the outside going high as G3 ducks low into the turn. Down the backstretch as we have less than 10 laps to go here, as the 25 of JTM working to the outside of that number 3 of Geek Girl Games. So JTM getting to the outside of the 3, as we're going to see what Eric does here as he puts the pedal down and is not able to get around that, get around to the outside of the 3 of Geek Girl Games, but he's high right now with the 660 of Garrett Miller and that 1 of Jamal Jackson. Jamal with a great run through the turn. He's able to pull off the pass around the number 660 of Garrett Miller. As Seabass now to the back bumper of the 96 of Nico. Nico trying for the block down low. Seabass up high. Seabass crossover move down the front stretch into 1 and 2. Here comes the 25 of JTM right behind him. Unable to pull off that pass through 1 and 2. We're going to see what Seabass does down the back stretch as we have about 5 or 6 laps to go here at Milwaukee. So down into 1 and 2 again. Seabass, I think, probably trying to cool those tires off here and see if he can make a little bit of a run, as here in the last handful of laps, burning up those tires just a little bit, trying to get around that 96 of Nico as he punches the gas down the front stretch. And then again, a crossover move, seeing if he can make that 96 have a little bit of a mistake down to the inside. Nico, he is a 4-time winner in the series, and he is the reigning points champion in the More Freedom Series, so he is no stranger to being at the front of the field and winning races and just blocking as much as he can. So Seabass trying his darndest right now to work to the outside of that 96 of Nico. As the 80 of Hog Eric back to the outside of the 3 of Geek Girl Games. We're going to see if that 1 of Jamal Jackson follows him, as he is going to be able to make that pass down the front stretch, as Seabass again with the crossover move here after the block by the 96 of Nico. Nico down into the turn. JTM right there behind the 777 of Seabass. So the points leader, the 25 of JTM to the outside of the 777. JTM battling right now as I believe this is our last lap coming down to take the white flag right now is going to be the 96 of Nico. JTM up to 2nd position as he puts Seabass back to 3rd. Down the back stretch for the final time. Can he lead flag to flag here at Milwaukee The 96 of Nico is not going to have any competition from his teammate in the More Freedom Series. The 25 of JTM as he powers off of 1 and 2, or off of 3 and 4 down the front stretch. Your winner today here at Milwaukee is going to be the 96 of Nico 2588. So awesome job today for the 96 of Nico 2588, able to fend off basically the rest of the field, starting from the pole, leading the entire way, and coming out with a great win here at Milwaukee for the IROC series. So let's go through your finishing order. Your winner again is going to be the 96 of Nico. Second will be the 25 of JTM. Third will be the 777 of Seabass. Fourth will be the 80 of Hog Eric. Fifth will be the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Sixth will be the 1 of Jamal Jackson. Seventh will be the 660 of Garrett Miller. Eighth will be the 13 of King of the Aces. Ninth will be the 07 of Douchebaggins. 10th will be the 69 of Arco Creates. 11th will be the 72 of Duchess. 12th will be the 8 of Moon Bunny. And rounding out your field will be the 420 of Queen of Hearts. So the next race for the IROC series will be on June 12th for IROC Nashville. That'll be at the Nashville Super Speedway. So that should be an amazing race. Should be quite the competition, I hope. So that's our next race in the IROC series. We'll go through your points real fast. I think it's going to be very, very close between Nico and JTM. JTM may be, or Nico may be your points leader. You're going to be seeing that here on the screen based upon his 20 bonus points. I think that may catapult him over JTM. We'll see. You're seeing it right now. So that's going to do it today for the IROC series presented by More Freedom Trucking. Congratulations again to your winner today, the 96 of Nico 2588, last season's More Freedom Series points champion, and a winner today here in the IROC series. So until Friday here at Milwaukee for I believe the Milwaukee 80, I think, for the More Freedom Series race. And until then, take care.